you have a great day, say hallelujah. Hallelujah. Now, say good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Mr. Carver. Good afternoon, Mr. Carver. You know how long it took me to get somebody to say Mr. Carver to me? It's a hot day out here, so I might take off some of this stuff because I'll start sweating and y'all be looking at me like I lost my mind. The year was 1863-64. Not quite sure my birth date because I was a slave. And they didn't keep accurate records of slaves back then. We was considered property. Well, they called me Carver George. They called me Carver George because I belonged to a lovely white couple by the name of Moses and Susan Carver. Me and my brother Joe lived on that plantation most of our little lives. Joe did all the heavy work. See, I was a kind of sickly child, always hacking and coughing and things. They used to sit me out on the back porch of my car, my back dooryard as I called it, and I would sit there and look at the flowers on the ground. The strange thing is I think I was touched by God early in my life because I started looking at those flowers and it started getting me wondering what made the flowers red and yellow, blue and green. Then I look up at the sky and wonder what made the clouds and the rain come down, what made seasons change. I started getting real curious and finding out, why didn't I know these things? And then I started realizing I wanted to learn how to spell my name. Now you know that was some wild, crazy thinking. Anyway, I started doing things with plants. Loved them. Started growing them, creating all kinds of little gardens around. People started coming by looking at my plants growing. I started making things, what they call now, fertilizer. Using old rotten things and fish heads and manure, mixing it all together, putting it around my plants. My plants started growing. People was loving it. They said, look at that little boy. Look at that colored boy. We're going to call him a plant doctor. A plant doctor. Lord have mercy. I know I was doing something there. This old white man came walking down the road one day. He said, you, Carver George, plant doctor. Come over here and look at my tree in my yard. Well, I went with him, I found him. He had this old apple tree in his yard. Rotten apples just all twisted up and stuff. He said, boy, what can you do with that? Well, I looked up side one tree and down the other. He looked up one side and down the other. He said, what you gonna do? Well, I went in my pocket and pulled out my little penknife. Climbed myself right up on that tree and started hacking off these branches that looked like they were rotten, seeing that they was infested with bugs. Then I ran home and got my little concoction, which you call fertilizer now, and I put it all around the base of the tree. 6 months later, that man came running down the road. He said, plant doctor, come and look at my apple tree. And when we went down the road, that tree was standing strong and tall and big red apples sitting right there. I was so proud of myself, I didn't know what to do. Give me a round of applause now. Come on now, start thinking about this. Fertilizer, my fertilizer. That was just the beginning. See, I heard talk and rumor that there was a colored school teaching us black folks how to read and write. Now, I ain't not saying it loud because back in them days, you talk about getting an education, you talked about some damage being done. When they said learn how to write, all I could think about was losing a few digits. Because if they caught one of us trying to write something with a piece of stick in the sand, you better believe they were going to punish you for it. If they saw you trying to read some words out of a book, you might come back less of a tongue in your mouth. So when they told me there was a colored school, you think I got scared? I wanted to see for myself. So I packed up my stuff, packed up me some hog mog and some old bareback in the back, and I went walking to this town called Neosha. Got there date night, saw a barn, went and lived in the barn for the night and slept there real quiet like. When I woke up in the morning, there was this little white house sitting on the hill there with the window wide open, the curtain flapping in the wind, and there was a big old apple pie sitting right there on the windowsill. Now, I'm not no thief now, nothing like that, but I was a little hungry, so I creeped on up to the windowsill, licked my finger, got ready to stick it right in the middle of the pie just to get a little taste. Now, don't get me wrong. I licked my finger, stick it up in the pie, and the door came open, this colored woman come out. She said, boy, is you crazy? Has you lost your mind? I will slap you into tomorrow. Get your finger out my pie. Andrew, come on out here. Look at this little skinny boy. Get ready to stick his finger in my pie. I stood there scared. Didn't know what to do. She said, what's your name, boy? I said, my name is Carver, George. She said, Carver, George. I said, they call me the plant doctor. She said, plant doctor, I don't care what you grow. You get ready to stick your finger in my pie. What you doing out here? I said, I heard that there was this color school. She said, shh. What are you talking about, boy? I said, well, I just wanted to learn some things from the color. She said, shh. You know what could happen to you talking about color school? I looked her dead in the eye. I said, yes, ma'am, I do. I held up my hand and I dropped a few fingers. She said, you ain't scared? I said, no, ma'am. She said, why? I said, because I want to learn. I want to learn how them flowers change colors. I want to learn what makes the seasons change. I want to learn how to spell my name. She said, well, look at you, little tiny skinny thing, you. Sure enough, I'm going to show you where you can go. Well, we went through this field, and as we were there, we saw this colored woman walking all straightly through the field, and all these little colored children running around behind her. I thought it was what is called, that thing that moved along the land, that train under the what? I thought it was the Underground Railroad, and that these were what? Running where? What were they called? Slaves running where? To get away from who? You better recognize. I saw them all running into this building. I got real nervous and scared because I thought I had to run too. But she said, no, it's okay. So as I went up to the side of the building, I listened real carefully. I put my ear to the building. I heard this black woman in there. She said, 1 + 1 is 2. 2 + 2 is 4. Cat, C-A-T, dog, D-O-G. I got so excited, I ran back. I ran all the way back past the ocean, ran all the way back, saw Moses and Susan Carver sitting on the porch. I said, there's this woman down in the ocean. She said, 1 + 1, Then she said, see, they said, well, what's wrong with you? You done lost your mind, you crazy? I said, there's this woman, they teaches color children. She said, shut up. I said, but there's a color school. She said, shut up. I said, I don't care. I want to go. She said, well, what you going to do there, boy, when you get there? What you going to do? I said, I know how to grow plants. She said, well, look at you. George Carver. No longer Carver, George. No longer a piece of property, but a young man she saw that was desire to get an education.